the mansion was cult-like, looking back on it, is because we were all kind of gaslit and expected to think of Hef as like this really good guy. And you started to feel like, oh, he's not what they say in the media. He's just a nice man.
Secrets of Playboy, a new A&E docuseries that explores the Playboy empire and the complex world of Hugh Hefner, which he created.
Candace Jordan, associate publisher of Chicago Star, former Playboy bunny and friend of Hugh Hefner, joins us now to share her thoughts. And it really has, we're on episode 5 of 10, and I feel like each one gets a little bit more dark.
Yeah, I'm sure by the end of this, he's going to have horns on his head with all this drama and trauma that they're talking about. I mean, you know, I've been involved with Playboy for 49 years. I mean, I started in 1973 as a bunny at the St. Louis Playboy Club. I transferred to Chicago as a bunny at the club here. I became a Playmate. I'm a cover girl, centerfold. I mean, you know, you name it, I've run the gamut for 49 years with the organization. At parties at the Mansion LA, parties at the Mansion in Chicago. And this Hefner that I'm reading and seeing about is not the man that I ever knew, nor is he the man that all my fellow Playmates, bunnies and sisters, except for this handful of these people that's on this show. So it's like an alternate reality for me.
Could you say maybe it's because some of these people, I mean, they're like super close. I mean, you know them. You know Holly, you know Sandra, his ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, his ex-girlfriend. Yeah, some of the close people that he worked with, you know them.
Yeah, I know them, yes.
So are they the people that you know that are speaking out?
No, they're not. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, a Playmate, a former Playmate, as a matter of fact, and we were all together, I remember this vividly, at a party at the Mansion, and they were filming a segment of Girls Next Door. And Holly is the one that greeted everybody at the door, showing off the Mansion, showing us into the guest houses that she just redecorated, beaming ear to ear smiles. And every time I ever saw her at a party out there, she was the same. And the same for Sandra Theodore. That's the day that we were out there with all of them. Look at her, she looks perfectly fine and happy. And, you know, and apparently she was until he refused to marry her, which she wanted. He refused to have a child with her, which she wanted. And then after they broke up, then she wrote this book, Down the Rabbit Hole. So it just sounds like very bitter women to me.
Well, and Sandra, too, just based on what I've seen, she hasn't spoken out much about it until now. So why do you think now?
Well, yeah, that's a very good question, Amy, because it's decades that she would have had a chance to even talk to him about it, say, you know, you ruined my life, and, you know, and rebut all this. But no, until he's dead and gone and can't say a word in his own defense, now this all comes out. And it's just, the timing seems to be very odd to me.
Now, in their defense, they all say he was very controlling and that they were under some spell, a cult-like spell. Could it be that maybe because, did you live in the LA Mansion at all?
No, but I was there a lot.
You were there a lot. Because I'm wondering, it's like, Holly at one point in the series mentioned that, you know, people who were friends with him saw one half and people that were like living with him and really close to him saw another half. Could it be possible that that happened?
Well, here's what I remember. Sandra said that she was so traumatized by her first sexual encounter with Hefner. Yet after that, she begged him to move into the Mansion with him. So, again, the timing, that just doesn't match up.
Because I mean, Playboy spans a lot more than even the United States. It's international.
It's global, yeah. It's a global brand, yes.
And, you know, and you and I talked a little bit earlier too, like the Me Too movement and the Weinstein and the Epstein, like all of this came out a decade ago. And so you kind of wonder why no one spoke up when that movement was starting.
Oh yeah, it would have been a prime opportunity. I mean, you know, and here he is, you know, a woman's, he publishes a magazine with naked women in it. I mean, he would have been the first target, and quite frankly, he has been a target since he ever first published this magazine. As a matter of fact, in the show, Cook County investigator David Rubin says Hefner was on everybody's list in the agency, and this was the backdoor way to get to Playboy. So they wanted to put a feather in their cap by, you know, arresting him or bringing him down and bringing Playboy down, and that would make them all famous, and that was the goal.
Is it possible, though, that it did happen?
It's not the reality that I'm aware of, and nor is it. And as a matter of fact, there's petitions out. Hundreds and hundreds of Playmates bunnies, former employees, have signed this, and this is decades after they've left the organization. What kind of loyalty do you have if that's this is the way they saw him and knew him? So I'm not in the bedroom. I'm not in where these ladies were. I'm certainly not going to say that they don't have a right to say what they want to say, but it's just not the Pefner that I or hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that knew him think that way.
What do you think is going to happen to Hugh Hefner's name after this is all finished?
I don't think anything's going to happen to his name because I don't think a handful of people can bring down a man's legacy like that.
So what's going on new with you? What's going on?
You can see how passionate I am about that. I mean, I love this guy, and I knew him, and I mean, he was a gentle soul. He was funny. He funded the first rape kit. I mean, he did so much for women's rights, gay rights. He was one of the first activists. I mean, on and on and on with the things that he did to help support humanity and women. I mean, he was a champion of women. He absolutely loved them. And so to hear all this stuff, it just really rankles me. And I'm so glad that you gave me an opportunity to speak about it.
Okay, no, but seriously, what's going on with you?
Yes.
Well, you were in the magazine relatively recently.
Yes, I was, and I did my cover like when I was in my 60s, and so I am still a brand ambassador. There's no question about that.
Okay.
And I just want to say one thing that Cooper Hefner, his son, he said it best. He said this sounds like a case study of regret becoming revenge. And I think that kind of nails everything. But anyway, on a brighter note, things are really great. Events are coming back. We were talking about that earlier. So I'm anxious to get my feet wet again back in the social scene. And, our paper's doing great. My paper, Chicago Star, and, sharing only positive news, no crime, no politics. And, so things are really good.
Fantastic.
Other than this little blip in the road.
Thank you so much for coming and talking about it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Candace, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.